Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to another holiday entry here. Since I'd wanted to have my slower December uploads here be related to either directly or indirectly to the holidays, and because I still have several films to work through in this Elvira's movie Macabre Coffin collection set, I decided to skip a few entries in it, 3 actually, which I will return to later. Also, I could check out Santa Claus Conquers the Martians from 1964. Now, as with previous movie Macabre entries, I will start with the film itself that's being presented, going over the ups and likely downs, since these are usually public domain entries, which were not well received before going on to Elvira's presentation after I speak about that first film. So, starting with Santa Claus Conquers the Martians from 1964, starring no one I am familiar with. Except I did see the name Pia Zadora in there, which I know the name, but not why. I did start to look up some stuff, but I just recognize the name. Anyways, the synopsis for this strange film is as follows. The Martians kidnap Santa Claus because there is nobody on Mars to give their children presents. Based on a true story, this is not, but definitely not to be taken seriously in any way. It's meant to be a very silly, sweet holiday classic, or at least, that's the general intent, for which, of course, it kind of fails. It is really hard to say what is wrong with this film specifically, but to expand upon this, Martians see a transmission from Earth about Christmas and Santa Claus. Martian kids are kind of obsessed with these Earth transmissions, and the Martians decide to go and track down Santa Claus and take him to Mars. They see that there are hundreds of Santas upon the millions of people on Earth, and his little helpers on the street corners at the stores. Because when they come down to Earth, they find out that these helpers are not the real Santa. This is revealed to them by 2 kids who they decide to take with them to the North Pole so they can actually get the real Santa. Once on Mars, they want to keep Santa there indefinitely. So Santa needs to find a way to get back to Earth, or something like that. It is cobbled together very poorly. It's very cheesy and disjointed. They're trying to throw in a lot of comedy that doesn't really work that well. Sets are very basic. Costuming is not well executed. And, well, it seems kind of like a TV special that was kind of put together kind of quickly that didn't really hit the mark. Not terrible, though. Just, this is one of those I could see maybe queuing up to poke some fun at, which has been done several times by other presenters, such as Riff Tracks, of course. A presenter mentioned a few times while covering movie Macabre entries. I've seen a lot of these have been previously covered by Riff Tracks and a few others out there. But I guess this one could be queued up in the background of maybe like a Christmas party or something, just nothing to pay close attention to, but to just kind of have the volume off, subtitles on, while everybody's congregating, and they just kind of, notice and poke fun of from time to time. Not really a lot to take out of this film. It's not necessarily as boring as some of the titles are. It's just kind of lame. But what makes this presentation work, of course, this actual film itself, it's not really the film so much itself as Elvira's presentation in the Elvira movie Macabre, specifically from the 2010 iteration, which, as a reminder, is what this boxed set consists of. So for that Elvira portion, as mentioned numerous times in other entries, she has her usual pop-ins, where she'll pop in and make a little comment about something happening on screen. They got the commercial breaks for when we're going to go to a commercial and when we come back. And then we usually have a through line of what that episode is ultimately about as far as her portion of it. Her through line in this one, of course, is the holidays. Like she's hosting a party or a show for the season. She's decorating, having some puns here and there about stuff, opening up gifts, and best of all, she has a stop-motion opening to this, which is about 1.5 to 2 minutes long. She really leans on the Christmas aspects really strong. So strong that I kind of worry what was in the 3 episodes before this, which I skipped, or maybe what will be happening after them. And what I mean by that is a few years back, or I guess by this point it's almost 8 years ago, I had a conversation with Casper Crump after playing Vandal Savage on the show Legends of Tomorrow. I met him at a convention. We're talking about an episode that had these really crazy effects, really big budget, like the atom had become this giant thing and all that, CG like mad. He noted that the episodes around that had pretty much nothing. Very ship-in-the-bottle kind of episodes with very little money being spent, so that way they could shift it into that bigger episode that was going to have more effects. For Elvira, they seem to really dump a lot of money into this one, compared to some of the other episodes. And rightly so, because, there's a reason. It's the holidays, give us a cool little holiday special of our own to show. But it makes me wonder what the episodes leading right up to this or right after this will be like, if they're going to be maybe a little bit lower energy. Like every now and then I come across one where she doesn't really have a very strong through line on it. But we'll see what happens. But at any rate, with her presentation on this, it was a lot of fun. You know, as stated, we get our usual pop-ins here and there, which are a lot of fun. We get that great stop motion at the beginning. We get the through line of the holidays and even a short retelling / nod to the Gift of the Magi thrown in here. And, you know, this is what really sells this entry for me and what puts this entry into the would rewatch category, which so far I think the only other ones in that list are the first one, Night of the Living Dead, Manster, and possibly The Werewolf of Washington as ones that really had some good production behind it as well. There are enough well-executed skits, pop-ins, her usual puns, and general commentary about the film and the holidays to make this entry in Elvira's movie Macabre more than worth checking out. And speaking of checking out, that's checking out this quick little entry here for Santa Claus Conquers the Martians from 1964 as presented by Elvira on movie Macabre in this Coffin collection box set, which I believe is also available on Fubo. I'm not sure exactly, it's kind of hard to track it down, but if you're looking for this specific entry, be sure to look for the one from the 2010 iteration of Movie Macabre. Anyways, that's all I have for this quick entry here. If you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up, and if not already subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting that little bell icon to get notifications when I put up new content, which after December we'll be back to going 1 to 3 times a week instead of only that 1 time a week I've been doing for December. Anyways, that's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming by, and I will see you in the next one.